I'm here with Andrew Choi, the executive producer of the movie 10 Years, which won Best Film in the Hong Kong Film Awards. Andrew, thanks for joining us. Now, I'm a huge fan of this film. I've seen it at least 5 times. Tell me, what's it like working with Channing Tatum and Chris Pratt? What's that, Shelley? Oh, that's a different movie, also called 10 Years. Andrew, excuse me for just a moment. Okay, Andrew, thank you. Pardon the interruption. So I just watched 10 Years, which is apparently a collection of 5 short films about the Chinese Communist Party's erosion of freedom in Hong Kong. So the film is set in 2025, 10 years in the future of Hong Kong. Why are there no robots or sentient machines?
Well, because we have a very limited budget. So that's the
best answer.
Yeah, best answer for us. Actually, we talked to the directors and said we only have like in Hong Kong $100,000 Hong Kong per film. So it's very, very low budget.
Per each of the 5
per
films?
each of the 5. No, yeah. So total 500,000 Hong Kong dollars budget. So I don't think you can have a robot with this budget.
Always cardboard. So why did you get involved with this film?
Well, I think we started out about 3 years ago. It was 2013. Me and my co-producer, Ka Leung, who is also one of the director, Local Egg. We just finished a documentary film in Hong Kong, also talking about some of the changes in Hong Kong. And 3 years ago, we have the idea that, after this documentary film, we want to do a feature film about the future of Hong Kong, because back then, you can kind of sense Hong Kong is changing. Of course, the influence of China is you can feel is getting more and more involved in the Hong Kong issues. So we were just asking the question, what's next for Hong Kong?
10 Years was very successful in Hong Kong. It sold out theaters. Were you expecting this kind of response?
Definitely no. We never imagined we could have such a huge response. At the beginning, we were just imagining maybe one theater can show it for 1 week. But at the end, theaters show it for 8 weeks. Total of 6 cinemas show it. But even after 8 weeks, our film was actually doing quite well. It was selling out in all cinemas. But the cinema told us, "Oh, sorry, Andrew, we don't have any screening time for you next week." And we were asking why. Our film is making money for you guys. It's just, I'm sorry, we just don't have any slot for you guys. So, so that's a interesting part, because normally that won't happen in Hong Kong.
Why do you think there was that?
Well, of course they won't tell us the reason, but you can kind of know it's kind of self-censorship from the cinemas. But yeah, we don't have the chance to continue to show it in the cinema, so we show it in the community. So we did 150 screenings since February this year in universities, community centers, different high schools, and even churches. People are eager to watch our film, and so we continue to screen it for I think 5 to 6 months in the community. Yeah.
And then it won Best Film at the Hong Kong Film Awards. How did you feel about that?
So we were very surprised, and of course we were honored. But I think this film, not just because that in terms of production quality, I don't think we are in that level, but I think in terms of the meaning, in terms of the response from the Hong Kong people, and I think people appreciate it because of the timing of the film that was released. And so people are saying, well, seems like things that we are talking in the film are actually happening in Hong Kong. So people saying, oh, you guys are like prophesying the future, and then it's really happening. So it kind of generate more awareness to the Hong Kong people. Yeah.
I know some people said the things that happened in the movie could never actually happen in Hong Kong. But then, as you say, shortly after it came out, there was the 5 Hong Kong booksellers that were detained in mainland China. In the past few months, there's the interpretations Beijing is making about Hong Kong legislators. So do you feel that opinion has changed, that this could never happen?
Well, actually, people are saying that we should change the title of the film. Instead of 10 years, we should name it This Year. Because we are imagining the future, 10 years from now, right? 2025. But just a few months after we released the film, and people are saying that things are already happening in Hong Kong, and they can really sense these things are going to happen in the near future. Actually, when we do the film, all the directors kind of have this in mind, that we don't want to see the story that we talk about in the movie happen in real life. But unfortunately, things are already happening, as you said. Some of the conspiracy theory that we talk about in the first film, extras, people can associate in actually the Mong Kong incident in February this year. You know, there's a riot.
The fishball revolution.
Yeah, fishball revolution. People kind of associate, oh, this is what you're talking about in the film. And of course, the Causeway bookstore in one of the film Local 8, we talk about a secret bookstore. So people kind of associate that things that we're talking about is already happening. And when we do the local community screenings, especially after the Q&A session, we always say that in real life things are more ridiculous than what we're talking in the film.
And because of the political nature of the film, have you faced any censorship or pressure because of it?
Not directly. Yeah, actually we were asked very often that, are you guys being followed? Are you guys afraid? No, so far no. But I think, but we can feel the pressure, especially when we know, when we were nominated in the Hong Kong Film Award. The mainland newspaper, Global Times, wrote an article about us, saying that we are spreading virus, spreading despair.
I believe the specific term they used for the film was a thought virus.
Yes, thought virus.
Congratulations.
So actually, yes, after this news came up, and we were just saying though, oh, we got a free publicity, because in Hong Kong, you know, when the government says something that we are no good, it means that's very good. So it kind of helped us to do, people are more aware of our film and really believe that our film is doing something right. It's definitely actually a good way to understand what things are happening in Hong Kong.
Any plans to take the film to the mainland?
Well, there's a private version. Yeah, I heard it was quite popular among the mainland people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a lot of download, a lot of BT, I heard. Of course, it's illegal, but that's probably the only way that we could go in. So
I don't think you'll be making that box office revenue.
No, there's no box office there. But we released in Taiwan, the film, and we went to, I think, over 30 international film festivals just past year. And so I think we did arouse quite a few interested in different areas in the world. And we just released a DVD, and we release it online. So hopefully more people will see the film. Yeah.
For the China Uncensored viewers in the US, is there any way they can see the film?
I think we're going to release it in iTunes and Google Play in US as well. So I think you guys have a chance. But I think I can share a little bit about our next project, because it's related with 10 years. Because we went to a lot of international film festival, and we got the idea of that 10 years, I think it's a very local topic about Hong Kong, but when we show it in different countries, people are very interested, and not only to Hong Kong, but they kind of reflect of their own country. So we're going to have a project called 10 Years International. We're going to go to different places to do a local version of 10 years. For example, we're going to Taiwan. We're going to do a 10 years Taiwan. We're going to have local Taiwan directors to do a 10 years about Taiwan. We have planned to do it in Thailand. We have done in Japan and Korea. So we kind of want to bring this idea to different places and continue the discussion about the future of different countries. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah.
Great. Well, since you mentioned the next project, you know, I've been told I have a certain cinematic appeal. I don't know if you would ever consider maybe casting me in something, particularly if it involves sentient machines in the
That's
future.
look like a Matrix.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. That'd be good. Yeah. I'll make it a 10 years in US. I'll probably cast you.
Well, 10 years in the future of the U.S. would be pretty,
Well, that's.
pretty
I
interesting.
want to talk about this because I was in New York.
Cut the cameras.
Yeah, cut the cameras.
One final question. At the end of the film, it ends with the phrase, "It's not too late."
Yeah.
I know people have been saying that Hong Kongers have become very pessimistic and cynical. Do you feel it's not too late? Do you feel there's still hope?
Well, I think it's going to be difficult. And I think the control and censorship is going to be even more tightened in Hong Kong. But at the same time, with all the screenings, we've talked to many people, especially younger generation in Hong Kong, and we feel that they all concerned about the future, and they really want to fight for something that they used to enjoy in Hong Kong, freedom of speech, the freedom to do their own things, to have a good jurisdiction system in Hong Kong. I think young people are very, I think, stepping up, and I think I can see the future in them. It's going to be difficult, but I think more and more people kind of going to fight for what we used to have as a international city in Hong Kong. But yeah, so that's why we think it's never too late. If we lose hope, and then we're going to be pessimistic. But I think we're going to keep the hope, and keep the hope in people, especially. So yeah, that's how we see it.
Well, thank you very much for
Thank
joining
you.
me, Andrew. The film is called 10 Years. Be sure to check it out and keep your eye open for the U.S. release. Highly recommend the film.
Thank you.
Thanks again.